everybody. Hey, look who's
Hey,
there.
Olaf, she's
Hello,
back.
everybody. Welcome. Hello, Ralph.
Precisely on time. Maar we horen
Precisely
hem
on
nog
time.
niet.
Ralph is figuring out logistics.
Yo.
Logistics as we speak. You should change your lightning.
My lightning.
Yeah,
Nee,
Like
ziet er goed uit, man.
Zeus. Like what Zeus shoots.
Like,
Or do
with
you
the
mean
black,
my
Beetje
lighting?
geel wel.
you normally have like the blue backlight and you don't look that yellow. I don't
Hey.
care, but
I mean, it's a colorful world. Let's embrace all colors. Don't be so judgmental, guys. Come on.
True.
And show some respect for people of different color.
True. What's up, everyone? I'm just filling in the chat here. What's up,
Welcome,
everyone
everyone.
in the live chat?
Welcome
Hope
to
you-
the Artist Coaching Podcast. Let's start with that. If you're listening, this is the Artist Coaching Podcast.
I think I mentioned that, but yeah,
It always starts kind of chaotic, but that's also the charm, I think,
it's
of
the
this
charm
podcast.
of it. Yeah.
You know, the Riverside app we use doesn't work in Firefox.
Yeah, it's restricted. I think it's restricted to Chrome. I'm not sure, but it
No,
has
I now
something.
have it on Edge. It will also works on Edge, but
That's
I don't have
Microsoft, right?
I don't have Chrome on my new laptop.
Oh, how's the new laptop working?
I'm not so really fond of it. It kind of makes it kind of blows the air quite hard, which might be a good thing. But yeah,
Can you hear it?
you can hear it very loudly. Yes.
That's the problem with mixing, probably.
It only depends if you're gonna do vocals, but yeah. But it works like a charm. I can turn on my whole master chain. Before that was not even possible remotely. But no, it's a beast, definitely. But it really makes a lot of noise.
Do you notice the difference in CPU?
Dude, insane. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, like insane. A lot.
Okay.
So
well, at least
yeah,
it's a
but
progress there.
yeah, but it's really it's really noisy. Yeah. So it's there's probably some better alternatives. I hear a lot of good stuff about MSI, but I chose the Alienware, and yeah, it's gonna be my shit from now on. And
I have Alienware too. For already 7 years?
the same
Jesus,
one.
time flies. I have the PC.
Oh, the PC. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have the laptop, and yeah, it just makes a lot of noise. But it's cooling then probably really well. Yeah.
Why did you choose a laptop over a PC? Because you're not traveling, or do you work at home, or?
I do sometimes work at home, and yeah, it's just easier. You can bring it wherever you want. Plus, laptops are so powerful nowadays. Yeah, it's a 64-bit gig, the Intel i9, which works really well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much more of a laptop guy as well, but like it used to be that the most powerful computers were like the PCs, right?
Still, they gives
still
you
are.
a lot more cooling opportunities. But I mean, it's all cooling nowadays. Shit gets so hot, and
Especially with those beats from you.
definitely, yeah.
On
I mean,
fire.
hey,
No, that's only with Firebeats.
can you imagine what kind of computers they must have?
Oh shit! Like fire extinguishers.
No, dude.
Insane.
Okay.
Anyway, hello everyone. What's up, Israel Carter? What's up, Bit3? What's up, Jamie Strive? Welcome to the chat, everyone. What's up? Welcome to the live stream. We are back with another packed episode. And I was just talking to Jay about last week's episode. Somehow it seems to be that a lot of people loved it because it's being watched a lot. So unfortunately, Ralph wasn't there. Maybe that was a reason. Could be.
It
Probably.
just looks really good.
Did
I
you
think
see the new studio, Ralph?
Yeah, hey, man, it looks really insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
No,
happy with it.
I watched part of the episode, and I liked it too. Plus, Jim is a really nice guy. He was here
Mhm.
Monday, and
Oh, really?
yeah, he's a great singer.
He is.
He's doing
he's
really
really
well.
It's so funny to me that he literally lives 5 minutes away from me, and I didn't know the guy.
Plus, he actually told me he was a little bit nervous going on the podcast.
Yeah, because it was his first, right?
Yeah.
We were his first.
Yeah, he also
Hey.
asked me like, "Oh, and is it okay if I wear a hat?" And like, he was kind of like nervous a bit. But I said like, we're really down to earth. We're just talking. It's not
You never forget your first one, huh?
rehearsed. Hey, but it was a fun episode. I think a good insight for people into songwriters, and it's interesting because those are the guys you also want to work with early in your career. Upcoming songwriters and singers.
Holy shit. I
what?
do know my first one, yeah.
Wow, you're still you're old. It's a long time ago. Anyway, I
Why
do
so mean?
think last episode was a good insight into a part of the industry where most people don't really understand how that works. As in, last week I got I think it was a message from someone on Instagram that said like, finally someone about the singer-songwriting part, because I never understood how it worked. As in, do you pay the person? Do they get percentages? Should I approach them? Should they approach me? Like, so many questions. And he said like the episode helped him with answering most of those questions. So yeah, very happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
We have another guest next week, but we'll announce that by the end of the episode, just to keep everybody hanging here. Just keep them excited. What's up, Gerard Francis and Max Robinson? Welcome. Did you guys see? And I know you did, but let's just share the clip. Wait.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is. I love this one. Oh,
I don't hear it.
I hate it that everybody's trying to copy each other all the time.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of people who are successful with one sound, and then everybody else jumps on the bandwagon and starts to make that.
Do you think people do that because it's easy or safe?
I think it's easy, and they like, okay, he's successful with that, so I want to be like that too.
Would you consider them real artists if they're just kind of copying somebody else's sound?
Yeah, well, if you copy it well, maybe, but
Yeah.
in general, they always say it's better to make a good copy than steal something. Or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think the real artists are always the guys that come up with something completely new and fresh.
As Tiesto is from Brabant, he obviously means beter goed gejat dan slecht bedacht, or better stolen well than thought of. Came up with something bad. It's not really a good translation for it, but
yeah. I love that video. As in, you can just hear the Dutch in him, like the way how he pronounces things, and so it's really fun. But it's a very good point. As in, yeah, we talk about copying sounds, and we talk about like, when are you inspired by? And we have another video about that as well. Like, when are you inspired by? When do you copy? Like, what? When are you being creative? You know, because in the end, I think everybody's copying each other in some kind of way.
Yeah. Well, in essence, we are all tapping out of shit that already exists.
Yeah,
and I think
nice
there
book, by the
way. He's taking a book.
Steal Like an Artist, great book, recommended.
Well, but it is like that, and but yeah, there's a fine line between copying and creative copying, and it's nice to sometimes you just hear two tracks and you can hear them combined, or you hear something and you think, hey, if I approach this from another angle, it could be more commercial, viable, or whatever. And my opinion is, just do it.
Like copying the stuff, you mean? Or inspiring by, or how do you?
Yeah. Or if you see another angle and which really leans on something that already exists, just fuck it. I mean, it has a right of existence. It is if it's if it's fulfilling another purpose than the original already does. Let's say there is this underground record which could also really work well um, as a more commercial thing. Why not do it?
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
combine the two genres.
what I notice a lot of times when creating music is, this is one example I always give. When Showtek became like big in EDM, let's say in their EDM era, so after the hardstyle era, let's say, they had this like distinct lead sound which I really loved, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try to just make that because I love how it sounds. Then I tried it, and like I couldn't really recreate it, but I created something different, which became part of the lead melody of my track "Wake Up." But it was just kind of also a realization, like, hey, I'm gonna try to recreate that, and that's a cool new style. I'm just gonna make something in that style, and then come up with a whole
Yeah.
different version out of it. And I think that's the good thing about it. But you should like make sure that it's like something, you add something, or it's different than the original. Because if you hear tracks by like the Afro house now, you can easily make something that sounds like all the other ones. But if you start making an Afrobeat sound that sounds like the rest, you gradually add and change things that are unique, that are your
Yeah.
own sound and your what you like, and it becomes something new while you took inspiration from the original beats. And I think that's important.
I actually used to start most of my projects like that, as in I took an acapella, for example, or I took another song and I started remixing it, so adding completely new sounds to it. And then at a certain point in the project, I just deleted the original, so I only kept my own elements, which weren't necessarily like copied because it was built on. It was like in the same tone, for example, but it was a whole completely different melody. It was a great way for me to kind of spark my inspiration and spark my creativity, because staring at a blank page and like staring at a blank Logic project, for example, it's the most frightening thing for most.
Daunting.
Yeah, it's the most frightening thing for most artists. So having like us start some ingredients to work with worked really well for me. But then again, you should really be on the lookout for
It's
not
also
copying someone. Like the end product shouldn't sound like somebody else.
it's also the that also binds in with like the discussion of, is it hard as a DJ and producer? Is it hard work? Have you ever stared into a blank Logic screen, and how
into
scary that is,
into
man?
the
Like,
abyss of a Logic screen.
but I think also what Tiesto mostly means is like, yes, you can see what's popular now and try to pursue that, and you want to be in that style, but he's really focused on always looking out for the next big thing. So it's like he looks out for, no, this is cool now, but what is cool next week, or what do I find so interesting now that it's not really happening in the mainstream yet? And I think that's how you always can stay ahead of
Yeah.
the mainstream, let's say.
Mm. But
Yeah, it's
also
true.
depends. I mean, what kind of artist you are. If you're really into some certain genre, yeah, you're just gonna miss out on a lot of bandwagons. Bassjackers is not gonna make Afro House anytime soon. Well, not under the
Mhm.
Bassjackers moniker, that is. But
Mhm.
to be honest, no, I'm not remotely busy with that kind of music. I don't even like it. But
No.
yeah, there's some genres that's more, a little bit closer to you. Yeah, you can jump on those bandwagons. But for me, it's sometimes also a little bit strange, especially with the bigger artists. Yeah, they go from left to right. I mean, for me, it's not even clear anymore what they stand for.
That's
There was
actually an interesting point, because I hear this a lot from clients of mine who say, when we talk about like consistency in genres, right? Like most of the artists say, I like to make multiple genres. And then I say like, okay, but I think it's, as a starting artist, it's smart to focus on one thing, because that's easier to build on, build a career on. And then they say, yeah, but yeah, look at Chesto and look at Geta. They make all these different styles.
Yeah, but
And then
they
I say,
miss.
yeah,
They
but
also they hit and they miss.
yeah, but then I also say like, okay, they do that now, but look at the period where they built their success, and that's where they were very consistent. It's once they became successful when they started
Mhm.
doing different stuff.
That's
They're
So that
under a
definitely true.
spotlight.
yeah, so
They're
that's kind of a question I wanted to ask you as well. Like, why is that once you are successful, many artists start to release different genres or different styles?
Some do, but I think most of them don't.
yeah.
It's only those few. I mean, I mean, Tiesto and Guetta are the biggest known ones that do play a lot of genres. We all know how they operate. They have big teams making their music, and I think they're both really good at A&Ring, knowing what's the next sound. They really they listen to something and know if it's gonna be a hit or not. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
they also hit and miss, like I just said. But I think actually most artists they kind of play their stuff, and they have really a lot of longevity in their careers. So many big DJs you can name that have been operating for tens of years and still do what they do.
True.
Yeah,
Mm.
I heard Anima, I think it was in an interview. He was making an interesting comment because he said he wants young and upcoming artists to renew the genre. And
Mm-hmm.
he was kind of saying like he can't do it because he's already known for a sound, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting because I think if you have that big audience and spotlight, you're the one who can set the tone. You're the one that can showcase some stuff that's really new. Um, but maybe he means that he just wants the showcase the other artists' new music.
Mm.
But I
It's
also find
also
it
yeah.
interesting with Gedda. Sometimes it's like, is he really renewing? Doing renewing like new styles. I find that a bit difficult sometimes because I'm like, he doesn't
No,
need.
he takes him to the big stage. But if you
Yeah,
go backwards and let's discuss a lot of artists, let's say Afrojack, he became big when he used his vocal chops and pitch
Yeah.
bending and all the shit. Man, revolutionary.
Yeah.
But he never got like a second sound. The only one I know that actually succeeded at that is Avicii.
And
I mean,
Chesto as
not
well,
even
because he
Martin Garrix. He came up with a certain sound, but he like never renewed. And it's not that they're doing bad shit right now. Not at all. They really still
yeah.
do a lot of good stuff, but they're not like renewing. But I mean, not only them. It's like everybody. When did Armin really renew? When did whoever? Just name it. For me, the only one that really succeeded, even not even Skrillex. He became
And with
famous
renew,
with a
you
certain
really
sound
mean like creating a whole different sound.
like that, like Skrillex. There was like you have the Skrillex sound, you have the Afrojack sound, you have the Martin Garrix sound, and
Hartwell.
Hardwell definitely, but he also never like really renewed and got really famous with it. The only one
Yeah.
that started was Avicii with the levels, bromance, and all that kind of stuff, and then he incorporated the whole country vibe in that. He actually brought songwriting to the whole dance industry. He got like this second life, which was insanely amazing. So for me, he's the
Yeah.
only one that really had this his second trick, because the rest we
well,
all
Yeah.
yeah, that
lean on
succeeded
tricks.
with it. That
Yeah. That
succeeded with
Succeeded
it
succeeded
with
with
it.
it.
because
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of guys are always trying, but they just. I think Armin is a good example of he's making many like it's still kind of trancey where he goes with his music, but always he's like exploring a bit, but then he always
He
comes back
also has
to
Afro House
trance.
stuff. Also,
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
pretty
But
good song. Yeah.
he stays famous, and that's the best in his sets is the really trance stuff, and I think that's also a good thing. But they I think they are all trying, and I do think what Avicii did was such a, especially
Mm.
at Ultra, like if you see that show, which was a complete disaster, but it was so new, and you have to really have big balls to
Mhm.
showcase your music like that if you're known for the old style. So
I,
that's also not
I
what
do
many
have to
people are doing.
admit, I would do the same as Armin, Tiesto, Guetta, and all those guys do. Because sometimes I hear stuff, and since we're not as big as those guys, obviously, we never get the chance of working with certain people that do a new sound. But for me, it also, I think some of the new artists are so interesting, and if I would get the chance to hop on what they do, yeah, I would do it.
You know who did a great job in reinventing himself again? Frank Rizzardo. Like
Definitely, yeah,
he had quite some success in the early days with sneakers music and stuff, like with
yeah.
Voodoo and those tracks. And then he was quiet for like 3 or 4 years, and then he came back with the whole flow thing.
No, he just
Um,
always went on with it, but obviously he was never as good as a Afrojack or an Artwell, and he didn't operate in
no,
the
back
same
then
league.
he was big within the Netherlands in
No.
let's say the underground. But if you look at
Same
what he's
goes for
doing right
Maurice
now,
West, who obviously
yeah,
now really does well as Mau P, and
Marpi, yeah,
yeah, and I really like his tracks. Like all of them are really good.
Really
He
good.
always
Yeah.
was a good producer, but just he
yeah,
always had good tracks, but never stood out, and now he actually does. But
yeah,
it's also for
true.
me, it's their first trick, you know.
Yeah. But why? Because you mentioned Ralph, like I'm the same as Armin and Armin and Hardway and stuff. Like
I'm
you're
not
not.
really the same, but yeah, I would
No,
do
but
the
you're
same.
more. You would do the same. Why is that? Like, why are you kind of, let's say, afraid of implementing new stuff into
No,
the
I'm not at
songs?
all afraid of implementing new stuff. We do it all the time. But what I was saying is, sometimes I hear stuff, and I would want to jump on it because I'm really interested in working with a certain person who invented that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how do their minds work? What are they doing with certain sounds? Because I cannot hear what they are doing. So if I would get the chance to do something with those people who invent that cool shit. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, hey, I'm trying to invent the new wheel the whole time. It's the main mission. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, you're always
Um.
stepping off familiar stuff. All what we do right now is kind of finding this crossbreeding between certain genres and sounds, and you hope to stumble upon something like, whoa, shit, this is actually
Yeah.
fresh.
But I think it also has something to do, not necessarily with you, but in general. I think it has something to do with fear as well, like fear of losing what you've built throughout the years, because a certain sound has brought you to a certain success, and changing the recipe could lead to a different result. So it's, I think once you've built something for yourself, some sort of success, the fear of losing that also becomes part of the equation. While when we were starting your music career, there was nothing to lose, right? It was just you having fun in the studio, and eventually that led to
Yeah,
success.
for some it probably is, but for us, I think we're now at a place with the music industry right now. Man,
Hmm.
there's nothing holding you back. You can do whatever you want. But yes, there's always this like box you have to operate within because there are some expectations. But to be
Yeah,
honest, I feel nowadays you can let go of a lot of those expectations. I mean, we do
yeah,
sometimes still get like, "Ooh, where's the 2014 big room sound you used to do?" Well, it's in 2014, man. Look it up; it's still
where we
online.
left
Yeah.
I
it.
have
Yeah.
I have a lot of my older tracks that where at the time no one really supported them live, only
Hmm.
like in radio shows. I played them at my shows, and it's always one of those things. I want to be able to play my songs in my shows, but then those are the songs that people still come back to me at with like, wow, that song I still listen it to this day. So someone reposted the Golden Pineapple track of 2016, and I get like comments on that, like, hey, I still listen to that song, still one of my favorites. While at the time there was like, I think the only DJ who played it was Robin Schulz, and me, and the rest was in the radio shows, and the streaming was pretty good. But like, it's funny how that um, can work also. So I'm not
Yeah.
always chasing like, oh, I want it to be successful. No, I want it to be me, and then you can still have a successful track. Yeah.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. After releasing music for 10, 15 years, what is the main takeaway you get from it?
Yeah.
You gotta be. I just thought of this before. You gotta be a good cook, because a good cook never worries about the recipe, but he knows like with the things that are there what to do. And I compare me and my girlfriend. I'm someone who in the kitchen I need the exact recipe and I need to weigh everything. And it always is like I can cook, but like it's never like really good. When she cooks, she doesn't really follow recipes. And then I'm like, wow, how did you do this? And she's like, oh yeah, I just threw in this and this and this and this, like some extra
repetition.
stuff that she just knows, kind of like from experience and just talent for cooking. And it's like that's so interesting thing to me as well, because I am like that when it comes to music. I don't try to follow one recipe, but I kind of know like, oh, I could throw in this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my main, or not my main takeaway, but a big takeaway is like you don't have to use your
Follow
old
the rules?
projects or follow your own rules. Create something new and trust that you be a good cook. So even without a recipe, you can still make great stuff.
It's a nice metaphor you've got there.
Yeah.
What about you, Ralph?
Like Nike said, just do it and don't overthink, and just go with it. It's a musical journey. Nothing is forever, and it will always be under the weight of change. The world will always change, and you got to embrace it and see it as a fun musical journey where you can do no wrong, but you got to be a little bit strategic.
And when did that mindset switch came? Like, because I remember this as well. Like in the early days of my career, I had a whole different mindset than I had now. Right now, there's much more peace. As in, I appreciate the time. As in, just keep doing your best every day, and things will come. Right. So I experience a lot more.
It's not about
peace.
doing your best.
What is it about?
Delivering.
What's
I think
pushing
it's about,
yourself to deliver? Yeah.
following your gut feeling with things, and it's you kind of know what you have to do to deliver. Let's say, so that if you're like, oh, I don't feel it today, and I'm going home, that's not gonna bring you new tracks. What's bringing you new tracks is to like, no, well, I just continue of what I'm working on, or start a new project, or do some research, download some new sample banks, whatever. But you kind of trust your gut feeling also in
some tracks to
stuff you
copy.
like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that can be a good research. You
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
No,
but it's like
I think we mean the same, as in it's the power of compounding, as in just showing up every day, giving it your best. You can't drop a hit every day, but if you will be there every day, you will drop more hits eventually.
Hey, if you're not as talented as Messi, you better make the hours, man.
Yep, you have to put in the work. That's true. Yeah. By the way, Jay, Gas de Rob says Electric Elephants, I listen every day.
Amazing.
And Bit3 says, for me, Golden Pineapple is nostalgia.
Yeah, amazing. That's I get a lot of those comments, and to me, that's like such an honor. Still, it's like, yeah, you don't notice that when you're making something new or you're having a bad day in the studio and nothing's working, but it's really rewarding to read that. So thanks.
It's fun to hear, right? Because normally it's just numbers on the screen, people streaming your songs, and it's like, oh, 10,000 people stream my song. But it's 10,000 people who listen to your song. It's insane if you think about it.
It's not just numbers. There's a lot more behind it. Yeah,
it's insane.
Depends on where they come from, by the way, because if you then look on Spotify for artists and see 99% at Spotify editorial and 1% by listeners of their own, the listeners' libraries, then it's also a little bit of push. The biggest compliment you can get is that when the listeners' libraries are taking up most of the place, then it's
So
really
they're saving your.
the people have spoken, and
So they're
that's the
saving
best.
your songs.
Yeah, and they listen to it
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
again.
True. Just a quick early shill in the podcast from my end, because somebody made me aware of something, and I was like, huh, what the fuck? Somebody told me like, hey, I just found out that you guys do coaching. And I was like, yes, the artist coaching podcast. Like, I didn't know. I've been listening to this podcast for a long time and I didn't have a clue. So I was like, now that you mention it, that actually makes sense because we never mentioned it.
No, I was, now that you say it, we should start with that.
Exactly. So this is my shill for everybody listening. Artist coaching. We do coaching, like personal coaching for artists. So if you're interested, make sure to check out the website artistcoaching.nl. I actually just renewed it this week. There's a new free download available on there as well, which is a scorecard where you can check the status of your career. Like if you're stuck, yes or no, or what you could work on, yes or no. It's just a check-in for your artist career. So yeah, just small little shill for me, but I was like, he actually has a point, as in we never mentioned it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so maybe we should start doing that right now. Where is it? There we go.
Time for the
community questions.
Best jingle ever.
Community
Such
questions.
classics.
Every time that jingle comes on, I'm like, Joey, you nailed that.
Yep.
Like,
But now I get like super imposter syndrome because I don't think I can top this. As in, I think I've
welcome
hit
to
Welcome back to the music industry.
Welcome back to production live.
Yeah, I think I've hit the ceiling like at the first try. But yeah, we'll see. I'll keep trying. Community questions. So as everybody knows, we have a Discord community where people can send in questions every week, which we take
As
into
everybody
Discord.
knows, well, apparently not.
Well, we do mention the Discord. That's what we do.
True.
But you can send in questions there every week, and we take those questions into the podcast and answer them. So let's start with Mikey Foden. Have you ever had a label go MIA? And that's missed in action, I believe.
Missing in action.
Missing action and withhold royalties from you. How have you gone picking your battles to fight and ones to walk away from?
Never experienced it.
Never encountered that.
No, I did.
No.
Yeah.
I actually have quite a few labels, like especially from like the early releases, like the small labels from 12, 14
but you
years
released
ago.
on like Big Balls and L or something was called like that.
Exactly,
yeah, man.
like small
We
labels.
went around them with a big circle. You just knew this was gonna backfire, but
I think, well, nothing to say about this guy because he really helped me explaining how deals worked and stuff. And but there are a few labels from that period in time where I never saw any money from, and they kind of vanished. So,
but you can re-release. I mean, all the rights come back then, right?
Yeah, but I believe it's 25 years or something. Like it's those type of deals.
Don't pay.
Yeah, that's true. But dude, listen to those songs. I don't think you want
no,
to.
But it's not the point at hand. I mean, we have Phil Foden, but the other one, Mikey
Foden,
and he's asking, and I mean, for the future. I mean, if somebody doesn't show up anymore, there must be some. Are they bankrupt or whatever? There must be something. I mean, it voids all the contracts you have.
Yeah, you should be able to retreat your rights. Yeah, you should be able to do that and then re-release it. And have you gone with picking battles? Yeah, in my case, yes. As in, it's too small of releases. It's too old. Like, I'm definitely not going to re-release it. It's just fine. Back then, right now I just look at those releases as a stepping stone. And I don't really believe it's
Big Balls and L, dude. What were you thinking, man?
Dude, the guy delivered a lot of value to me back then. As in, he really like. I went there with Epster. I went there with
was
the
it
train.
Big Boss NL or what was it called? Big NL
Big
or
Boss Records. Big Boss Records.
Big Boss Records? Come on.
Yeah, but we went there. He explained the whole contract to us, like how things worked, and like he actually helped us a lot back then.
That's
Although
nice.
the release, I think the release did pretty well as well, because you had dance tunes. Remember?
Dance
You had,
tunes,
like
yes.
the Dutch beatboard, and
If you
Big
sold
Boss
12,
had quite
you were top 10.
exactly.
Yeah. So
And Big
everybody
Boss were
started buying their own record.
Yeah, eventually it was. But that helped us because their releases ended up pretty high at the dance tunes. So it was, as I said, it's a stepping stone.
So how many copies did you buy? You're actually waiting for your own
None.
money back.
Dude, I was bankrupt, so I couldn't buy my own records. Yeah, that was the status back then. This is a good one from VO7. Hey guys, have you previously dealt with imposter syndrome? If you've ever felt it, these past few weeks it's been hitting me hard. I have it with the jingle, man.
Well, what's imposter syndrome?
Now, imposter syndrome is that you don't believe that you actually can do something. So you don't believe in yourself, that you've actually...
Like you have a hit, and then you think like, but I don't even know anything about this world. I don't know nothing about production, about DJing, but I'm still playing all these big gigs and whatever.
You start thinking that you're a fraud.
Yeah.
I know I'm a fraud. It's a whole different thing.
I mean,
that's like a whole different level of self-awareness. But
it's a very interesting one, because I think I kind of dealt with it, but I was like, because I had basically one big release. I was producing music for a longer time before that, but then with one release, Wizard with Martin Garrix, it really blew up within a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was playing like from het Hart van Drunen, so like the local bar, to Vegas like 2 months later or something, like the biggest club in Vegas at the time.
Did you have a residency or did you...
I was support act for Martin Garrix, so basically all his shows I also did. 2014 and 15, I think. So Hakkasan and Omnia later as well. So I was like,
shabby.
I was like standing like, holy shit, like. And I remember seeing a video on YouTube about Tiesto designing the club, and I was like, now I'm here. But I think even though I felt like, oh, should I be here? I wasn't really too focused on that. I was just like, I'm here to enjoy the ride. I'm going to enjoy everything, every single moment. I'm in the DJ booth. I'm in the studio. I'm making music. Just go, go, go. Because you also realize like, hey, it can be over within, just very quickly. You know that in this industry. So for me, the best way to deal with imposter syndrome was just like, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm playing that Tomorrowland. Should I be playing? Who cares? I'm playing it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to give it my all. And that's also the approach that then makes you more successful, let's say, or makes you perform really well. So you're enjoying it, and like, hey, I'm going to at least try to show them that I'm not an imposter, which makes you then look like not an imposter, and then you gain experience. And
dude,
so it's kind of the best way to it's kind of the way to
you should write a book.
Enjoy it.
Mental gymnastics.
I want to write a book.
I think we have the opposite of imposter syndrome. We always think we deserve so much more.
Well, that's something I want to point out. I think that has been part of my journey as well, as in, I think a certain level of self-security, and in my case, naivety, as in, I didn't have a clue of how things worked or who was where or what was what. So I was like, I'll just figure it out along the way. And I never really kind of compared myself to others, or I was like, I'll just do this and I'll see where it ends.
In those days, that actually was the best asset you could have. But later on, the worst.
No, true. But in the early phases, I think in the early phases, a certain amount of naivety is actually
definitely an asset. Yeah.
I realize now that you say that, I was like, from before I had my breakthrough, already like super convinced about my music. I was like, I know it's good. I had this
Yeah.
like weird thing of like, no, but I know it's really good, and I don't know what that was. Um, yeah.
Did you
Just
already
for
had that? Did you already had that kind of self security throughout your whole life, or did that came
No,
later on?
it came like when I started making music, I was like, oh, I can actually like make up stuff that my friends can't. And I already right away saw like a difference
Mm.
there. And as soon as I went posting on forums, I also realized like my shit is just better. And then you can get kind of this arrogance, and like in a way that helped me then.
Yeah.
And then but that always goes also a bit like this, because sometimes in your career you're also like, especially on some studio days, you're like, oh man, I'm really not good, I'm really a bad producer. And then it takes another day where like, oh, I made the best stuff ever. But I think if you're very young, if you make something really good, you think, I'm really good at this. And I think when you get older, if you make something really good, you feel, or I at least feel like, oh, I'm really lucky that I'm creating this. It's kind of a, yeah, more, it's very deep maybe, but it's kind of like you're the vessel for the creativity to
Yeah.
spread the stuff to earth. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's not so much me, but it's more the, yeah.
Are you an
I don't know.
alien?
I don't know what has been
Yes.
in this guy's coffee this morning, but he's just one level deeper than us.
Yeah, a
I'm
little
writing
bit
a
of
book.
vodka.
Holy shit! Yeah.
No, but it's actually it's more of a, I'm grateful to make like that something works out in the studio, that kind of way. And that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome is definitely a thing, but it's definitely tied to self confidence, as in there needs to become a point where you become confident about your own music, and normally that comes through releasing your music and getting feedback from people. So getting people to start listening to it, or actually start sending you messages. So all positive feedback. So if you don't get that a lot, you don't really know for sure if your music is good enough. So you stay insecure about everything.
Yeah,
Um,
I had a coaching call with Marijn, who won the
oh yeah,
match. He's probably listening, maybe not live, but also later. So what's up? But I also told him like that was the main thing for him, was like, hey, start sending your music, start sending it out to not only labels but also friends and to
yep,
your mom, and show it so that you can get kind of an idea if there's something in there that's good.
yeah.
And it's that also, if you start sending it out, it gets the ball rolling, because you
Let me
aren't hung up on one track, you go to the next one. And yeah, just
share something which I'm actually currently working on. It's like a framework I use in coaching, which explains how you can build an artist career. It's the artist career cycle. And as you said, it starts with releasing music. So you need to put that music out. That's the start of everything. Then you want to start posting content and build a brand on socials. Then you also want to focus on building a network within the industry, and do all of this consistently and from an authentic piece.
but
Authentic.
release music sounds like a big step, but releasing music can be like, hey, I'm posting it to a forum, or I'm posting it to a
Yeah.
Discord, or I'm
Just
sending it
put
to
it
a
out.
friend.
Like just put
Get
it
it
out there.
into the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Is authenticity really a thing, or is it really
It is.
important?
And it has become even more important. It wasn't that important. As an artist, I would say in your music it was, but on your content, not necessarily. And now it starts to shift way more towards the content needs to be fully authentic, and the music as well.
But I think what's interesting, and that's maybe what Ralph's going for, can you make it without being authentic?
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yes.
I think
So
you can, because
that's interesting.
then you just create like let's say
What's
Deadmau5 with his
social
mask,
media?
right?
What's the play on? What's actually the thing in music, social media right now that people go for? Joey.
Showing your authentic self. So that's what we've talked about 2 weeks ago or something. What
we
people want to
disagreed on that.
I
Then.
think
yeah.
we nailed this last week with James. It's like, if you make something that resonates with you, you're sure it's going to resonate with at least some millions of others around the world. It's just a question of how can you get it to them. And I think that, yeah, because you're never alone in liking something. So if you make
Yeah,
stuff
that's
that
true.
you like, you're sure there's millions of others who will like it too.
But I think what Ralph, I
Yep.
think what
If you
Ralph
really like
means.
it, I'm 100% sure
But
there's
different
millions of
social
others that will
media
like it.
platforms work differently, and
That's true.
Reels and TikTok, for that matter, are pretty much the same. It's all about shareability. If you can't share it
Yeah,
or
but what's like
reproduce it, I mean, yeah, people
what's
want
like the
to show
bigger
themselves dancing on the new music they found, or
what the bigger
dancing or doing
trend is
whatever.
within not just music but content in general is people want to see the real person, so the unedited, uncut
Where did you
reality.
get this information from? You're bringing
Just
it
look,
like a fact.
yeah, but
Where
like looking at all the content the last few days, looking at what works, looking at what I personally like, looking at what other people around me do.
so if you watch a clip from Charlotte de Witte, you check out her profile. The stuff that gets the most plays is not her being on the stage playing a track, or is it that she's standing somewhere doing her hair and I don't know what?
I think if she would do more personal content, so do stuff in her house or in her studio and talk about her personal life, and depending on how she does it, obviously, because the way how you develop it, how you create it also matters. But I think in general that will create more impact. So not about the numbers, about the impact than the videos does. As in, I think the power of numbers are gone because yes, I can it because it's like an interest built algorithm, right? Like if you're interested in what kind of music does she make, like
No, but
techno or
then, yeah, well, yes.
techno, right? Yeah. No, but I like if you're interested in techno, if you follow Sven Veit, for example, and you don't follow her, the algorithm will probably start pushing you the content of Charlotte de Witte because it's in the similar kind of genre, right? So yes, it's a number go up, it's one extra view, but am I really interested in it? No. So it's the same as Spotify. Like you can have shitloads of numbers on Spotify, but do people actually know who you are and what you do? Do they actually recognize your name if there's a show from you around the corner?
Now you're getting to where I was going to. Shouldn't it be more about what you do, the lifestyle people are
Yes.
in?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
but
that's your authentic self.
that's not vacuuming your house with your favorite track on.
No,
That
no, no.
might be
But that's not.
something people can resonate with, but then it's always about the music. But also people
No, but that's not what
what
I
I
mean.
see, what's mostly shared and talked about and commented on is the party. We should go there. I want to go there. Shit, I missed it. Look at how cool this looks. That's the thing I see resonating with people, and not per
That's
se
true.
like, look at my new jacket, or I'm going to the studio today. Look at me. This is me making a donut. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's not what I mean. As in, I think we're saying the same. I don't mean that you should show people you vacuuming the house because that doesn't add anything to anyone. You know what adds value is talking to your audience, showing them about how you think, how you believe, why you make your music, why you decided to work with person A, or why you decided to play that song at that certain moment at that gig. Like, give people an insight into how your brain works and how your personality works. And you can connect that to your music and to how you build your artist brand. And you don't have to show anything about your personal life because it's about you as a person. It's not what your life looks like. It's about how your mind works and how your belief systems work, because that's what people buy into. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. You can also do that. You're actually kind of like describing James Hype right now.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah. But I mean, he does it like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people that can also, people don't like him for that reason. But it's always okay.
True.
But what I just see, what should be the main focus is the music and the shareability of it all,
True.
reaching people. I mean, "Wake the Fuck Up" by Bassjackers. You probably never listened to it on Spotify, but
Nope.
you know the track. And that's the magic of social media.
Yeah, but I wonder, because I know it's you, but I wonder how many people actually know the name Bassjackers. Because they
Could
know the
be,
song.
but a lot more than before.
That could be. But I don't think that that's in balance with
But
the
it's not
amount
the
of
only
views
one
that you
that
got.
goes viral. We have the blah, blah, blah. We have the Simon Says. We actually have quite a lot of stuff that actually goes really well.
No,
And
that
we also
definitely
notice
helps.
at our shows that people, they're asking for the alarm clock song. And we
Yeah.
now also incorporated, at first it was at the end of our show. Now it's also teasing a little bit in the beginning. That's all the feedback we get, and then we change the set.
Yeah, but that's
on
probably
it.
also because your current audience, who already knew who you were, are also a fan of the
No,
song.
I think what is a big
TikTok
difference
is
is
nobody that already knew you. They're way too young
what is
for it.
a big difference is you guys have a lot of shows where you can just literally showcase, hey, this is what we do, and that is such a huge advantage, and it's so difficult if you're starting
Yeah, that's
out
true
because
too.
like
Yeah.
Totally
how are
different
you
ball
ever
game. Totally different
do
ball
that?
game. Yeah, but
But
then
I do agree
it's
with Ralph. If you have that, you should showcase like, hey, this is what we do. This is the music we play. This is what you can expect because eventually, if you want to make a living out of it, you want to have people come to your show.
But I agree with that as well. I just think you should do both. So you should show the shows and you should show the personality. That's what I
think
mean.
I think the last one is not per se necessary, but why not? It can win you some fans for life, maybe. Yeah.
I don't think this is a game of like this, like choosing. I think everything can work, but if you'd ask me what's the big trend, I would say it's that. Like it's James Hype. It's the guy who shows more personality, where people fall in love with. I would say that that's the big trend.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
that comes
also
from the guy who was into music NFTs. So
who? James
You?
Hype. No, I never. Yeah, I do eventually
that
believe
going?
Subtle dig here.
I do believe eventually that will work, but it's gonna take a long time.
Okay.
Please apply water to burnt areas.
I'm
Exactly.
just taking a piss, man.
Let's go to the last question.
What you should watch out for, or at least if you want me to follow you, it's like just trying out a bunch of ideas and then see what works, and then now you're that guy.
Yeah.
And I see this a lot on social media, especially in the Vine area. Maybe it's not so much with artists, but like they're trying all these formats and all these jokes, and then they make one joke about a clown, and then now they're the clown guy, and that's all they do from then on. And that's always a bit, to me, it's a bit sad or something.
No, but I was just the authenticity. I think it's really helpful to look at social media, look at other people in your genre that do manage to break through. Look at them and look at how they do it. And if they also don't play many shows or don't have any money for a cameraman, they found a way to showcase it. I mean, what angle are they using? I mean, if you're opening and there's nobody there, it's not per se
I think
always good to show that it's empty. Also, it can just be the thing. But authenticity is like, it doesn't have to be authentic. I actually then rather agree with Tiesto that you can rather steal something that fits you as a person as well.
authenticity doesn't have to be authentic.
Yeah, but
Is
then
that-
it's still authentic,
the
right?
quote?
If you want to make sure it fits you, it's still authentic.
Yeah, but don't chase the authenticity. I mean, look at others and how they do it and learn from it, and then
Yeah, but
decide
that's-
what fits you.
Yeah, but then you're
Yeah, but
more
that's
talking
then you're
about like
looking at what-
tactics.
That's
Then you're
that's
just
then
No, wait. Then you're just talking more about tactics,
No,
as
but he
in where
says
should
that's-
you place the camera, where should you do this, or how
But
should you edit your
finding-
videos. But it's more about the deeper message of the videos than it is about the actual creation of the videos.
But finding what fits you, that is what does make me authentic. If I try this tactic, is it going to be believable? And that's
Yeah,
the
but then
thing.
it's a
So you-
really open door. Yeah. Don't
yeah,
put
but
on
like
a
that's
mask.
so
Yeah.
you're
Being-
saying the same thing. You're
being
saying also
authentic-
be authentic, but just don't. But yeah, authentic doesn't have to be new. Authentic
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
have
No.
to be new.
It's just you being you. It's
Yeah.
not harder than that. It's just showing who you are without any masks or
But
fake.
I do think with Bassjackers, but that's just a personal preference. I would love to see more of Marlon, and I think a good example, or you, but I think a good example is Chris Lake. How there's show footage,
with the live
there's
streams,
stuff
or
like he's in the studio, he's talking to the camera, and you really get an idea of who he is and who he is as an artist. And I think that, but that's just a personal preference, and I think that's also a thing. Find your best way and stick with that. And if it doesn't work, change your tactics.
and it
I
should
think that's
also be
also
comfortable, as in you should be okay with how you present yourself, because if
Yep.
you're not okay with it, it's not gonna look authentic at all.
yeah, and
It's
give it
gonna
some
feel
time. Just if you get 100 views for a month, don't be like, oh, it's not working, I'm gonna switch it. Maybe give it a bit longer, but stick to
Oh,
your
you'll probably get
plan a
100
little bit
views
longer.
for years.
Exactly. Yeah.
could be, yeah.
Well, after a year, I would say maybe change some of the tactic, change some elements, but
I mean, it's hard. How are you going to get new people to your profile? I mean, for the algorithm, there's no reason to share your profile.
Well, like you said, that has become easier than ever because the algorithms are built on interest right now. So you don't need followers to reach a lot of people. If the content itself is great, it will be shared.
Yeah, what
yeah,
makes content great?
or it gets stolen
That's
by
the
the big,
question.
or
That's
it
the
gets stolen
question.
by the big creators. That also happens. If you come up with a unique idea, there's always some big creators that then do it, and then
Yeah.
it's unable to find who did it first.
Don't try to be a content creator. I think there's content creators where their core business is creating content.
And you are an artist.
You are an artist. You're not going to win at the content creation part. It's all eventually the sole thing is presenting your music and try to reach as many people that
Yeah,
then might like it.
but that's also looking at it from a competition standpoint, and that's what I would never do. I would never see someone as my competition. That's just I don't
But
think that's
you do need social media these days to bring your music towards people. So you
but
kind
I
of
wouldn't
need
see.
to but you kind of need to be a content creator in some kind of way in order to
Yeah, but not a
make a living out of
competitor.
this.
You're not competing
No,
to.
okay, but
to
aside from
that's
that, like
why.
you do need to be a content creator from the beginning. And I would say once you have the financial resources to kind of outsource a few of those things, then do it, because it's
Our
a whole different skill
most
set.
shared clips are the ones with one camera that's shot and we just post as is. Maybe brush up the audio a little bit.
Yeah.
But for
But
the rest,
that ties back into my story, as in the authentic part, as in people want raw, uncut, real people.
Yeah, but even
that's true.
cut stuff. You don't need money anymore to create amazing content. That's also a thing of the past.
That's true. But eventually, like once you become bigger and social media becomes too much of a churn of a task, I would say, then it might be handy to have someone like you guys have a cameraman, like those type of things that help.
That's the only thing we have, a cameraman.
Yeah.
We post all our videos ourselves. We all do. We get the raw footage and then into CapCut it is, and brush up the
Posting
audio
time.
and post it.
Yeah.
There's always something to think of for any budget.
True.
So you can bring a video guy, or that's too expensive. So you bring a friend that can film.
Yeah, I had a
You can
friend
pay him,
filming
you
me
can,
back
or a
then.
tour manager friend. Let's say you can pay him way less than a video guy. He can still make good footage, not as good maybe, but there's something for every.
No, but it's
budget,
always you got to be smart about it. But I
Bring a
saw
tripod to a
clip
small
of
show, you know.
I saw a clip of Lily Palmer, and she had an iPhone with a flashlight also, so her lighting was good. Was put on before her decks, a little bit of and then somebody was with an iPhone also with a flashlight on it, filming her. So she was lit really well, and then the iPhone actually captures images really, really
Yeah,
good, and then
really
it looks
good.
like really professional, but
Yeah.
it doesn't cost that much. So
It's mostly the lightning that does the work.
it's definitely mostly the lighting.
Yeah.
And that's why if you don't have the lighting and shoot with your iPhone in a dark environment, yeah, it's gonna look a little bit shitty.
I can demonstrate it right now. Doesn't look nice, does
Jay
it?
without lightning.
It actually looks better.
Oh, yeah, okay, but that's
No,
different,
but it's a really well demonstration. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
exactly.
this?
Is this the clown guy?
The red light district.
Yeah, but lighting actually, lighting does a lot for sure.
True.
Yeah.
This
Guys,
is
do you have
actually
anything to
daylight
shill?
here. I cannot turn it off.
Well,
Me
I
too.
saw a question that we didn't cover, and it's
Which
about
one?
and it's there because there's only one right answer. With all the reusing of the 1995 to 2005 dance classics, what's your favorite record from that period? It's Bartes on the Move. It's the only right
LSDJ.
answer.
Man, everything LSDJ did.
Dude,
It's insane. It's really good.
I don't even
Bartes
know
on
where
the
to
Move.
start. Like, I have to find all
But
those songs.
Bartes on the
and,
Move is a really great record as well.
G-Spot also had great songs.
Yeah, well,
Great
there's so
name as
much
well.
stuff. We're
Clubheads.
still digging in that stuff, and we're still working. We did we had Out Here Brothers. We just posted it
Oh.
online.
Nice.
That's not I like to move it. That's
No, Smash
the other
the
one.
House or something. Like, what's it called?
Smash the House. That's the label release.
No, but I did a bootleg of this as well. But I'm
Samba.
still
Hey,
waiting for
Samba.
someone.
Wiggle
I'm still
Wiggle.
waiting for. Oh yeah, Wiggle. I'm still waiting for someone to to update the Clubhead sound, like the bamboo sound.
Bamboo.
Yeah, you know, like those upbeat, like wait, Clubheads. What's that song? They had like this.
You've been out of producing long, eh, Joey?
Yeah.
No. Clubheads.
But have you ever
Yeah.
listened to the genre hard house? I think that actually nails what you're saying right now.
Yeah, but not really. Yes, but no.
Yeah,
Is
but
this
you're
it?
such a boomer,
You.
stuck in the past. You're one of those guys, like going to Clubhead.
Yeah. Wait. This drop. Can I share it? We're probably gonna get thrown out of YouTube. There we go. Okay. This bass. This one.
This is basically
mean-
like a lot of records coming out right now.
Nah, not really. No.
Listen to
It's,
Benwell. I'm sure he might even play this record.
Oh, Lion Harris says Komodo from our Picotto is also a great one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a hard
old
one to
stuff.
clear, I can tell
Gigi
you.
D'Agostino.
Jesus. Oh man,
L'amour
L'amour
toujours.
toujours. Wow.
Blah, 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 blah. It's a great one. I actually know a remake by Bassjackers.
Oh,
That's
really?
really well
Oh,
on
wow.
TikTok as well.
Yeah.
And you know, actually
Hey.
some hard techno DJs also started playing it. So, hey, you're still
Do you
early.
guys have something to shill?
Actually, I was thinking about shilling my old stuff. Like blah, blah, blah. And look it up.
Let's go.
Playlist it.
Okay.
But there's some tracks coming out. Audio Tricks did a really well remix of our Around the World, which is really cool. I was just did a rework of Samba de Janeiro with parts of the original one. So that's pretty cool. They're on board. We're also releasing other stuff that I can't think of right now, but it's starting. The release train is taking off again. And
Nice.
we're starting to give away a lot of cool stuff. Cool.
I made a remix of Bad Dreams by Teddy Swims, and I need to go viral.
Did
so,
he
like,
reply?
No. So look on my reels and TikTok if you want to hear the track. And Bassjackers played it in their radio show. So thanks, Bassjackers. Oh, you're Bassjackers. Wait. No, but Bassjackers played it in their radio show. So it's nice. It's getting some attention and
Who's
getting some
the
traction.
first one? Who's the original one?
Teddy Swims.
No,
Teddy
for
Swims.
Bassjackers and Bassjackers.
Who was the? I think
For
you guys
Jokke.
started first.
What do you mean? What was the first one?
Yeah, well, who was first in your? Were they
Musical journey.
first? Were they already there, or we?
No, Bassjackers was you guys were way more established.
Actually, they were earlier.
Really?
Yeah, but from how I
No,
see
I'm
it,
just fucking. No, we were
Yeah.
two years earlier. Yeah.
you were
Oh.
already established, in my opinion.
We
and
actually get quite a lot that people think that we were later on the scene.
I thought so as well.
A little bit of a marketing error our side.
Thanks everyone for listening.
and I have a new track coming out end of March. So
That's 6 weeks from now.
Hey.
You can
Yep.
shill it for the upcoming 6
Where does
weeks.
it come?
independent,
Hey,
Self-releasing.
self-releasing.
Ding, ding, ding.
self-releasing. Hey.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Make sure to share this episode, share this content with your friends, family, colleagues, DJs, producers, everyone. Make sure to subscribe because we do see the number go up every week, which is amazing. So thanks for
Yes.
everyone joining the YouTube channel, but also the community.
You can also
And-
join the
and
artist
if you
coaching
are
program.
And if you are interested in the coaching services, make sure to check out artistcoaching.nl. And there's also that free download available for you. So, by the way, next week we have
Oh, yo, Joey.
a new guest, Kill the Buzz.
Hey.
Make sure go to Jay Hardway and Kill the Buzz on YouTube. There's a day with Jay with Kill the Buzz in the studio, and it's really inspiring.
And look up Life is Calling from Joey Suki and Kill the Buzz. Amazing hit. I'll speak to you guys next week. Bye-bye.